Well, it's varied over time. At times people who engaged in science were suspected of things like uh, witchcraft, and sometimes the people pretending to be scientists were more acting like magicians. The whole alchemy sort of experience. So I think it's depended a lot on how science is perceived. One of my favorite papers as an undergraduate was on Bertolt Brecht's play on Galileo. And as Bertolt Brecht wrote the different versions of this play, they were affected by things happening in the world around him. And the first time he wrote the play, it was scientific knowledge versus the authority of the Pope and the Catholic Church, and how terrible that was. And then the atom bomb was dropped. And that changed the way Brecht thought about the story of Galileo. And he started raising the question of, well, sometimes do we need to be protected from the consequences of scientific knowledge? And how science sort of plays into politics and public debate. These are such important questions today, and the intersection of those with moral and ethical questions. What does it mean to be a human being? When does life start? How should we think about those problems? What are the proper uses of genetic material? Who owns genetic material? And so I think the deeper we've gotten into these questions, the more we've seen actually they're not pure questions of science. They're also questions of society. So I think over time we see a changing relationship. I worry sometimes, we're retreating from some of the ideas that emerged in the Enlightenment in the 18th century, which is a real sense of society based around scientific principles, which means not just actually what we define today as science, but also social sciences, what we think data means, how we reach conclusions about the world around us, how we decide whether something is good policy or bad policy. And so when we talk about taking a scientific approach to something, we're actually not just talking about science as natural sciences. We're talking about ways of knowing things and ways of deciding things.